Okay, so we'll start with the pre-submitted questions. And the first one comes from Declan from Upcomer. What was your personal highlight and low light for your team this season?
Oh, that's a good one. I think for us, honestly, the personal highlight of our season probably is today. Today was a pretty good day for us. We took back possession of first place, which we've been, I don't know, we've kind of been allergic to the whole season. We've just been like really close to getting it, and then every time, like in the past 2 or 3 games, we've lost and not gotten first place. But today was the first day where we're tied with 100 Thieves. We're playing them. It was also our tiebreak against them. So it was a really important match. Now that we have the head-to-head against them, that we beat them, I think everyone felt really good about the win. I think we played really well. We prepped really well. It was just a really clean game from us. In terms of low point, there were a couple to split, definitely. We've definitely had a lot of ups and downs. I'd probably say one of the lowest points was our game against FlyQuest. I think that was just a game where pretty much everything just felt off the whole game, and we ended up losing in a game that we had full control of. And I think that was kind of a big reset point for us as a team, where we kind of just sat down with ourselves and talked a lot about our issues and the problems we were having. We really weren't playing as a team before then. And I think ever since that game, we've done a really good job of turning it around and being able to play the way we are now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question comes from Nick, Upcomer. Who is the strongest team other than TSM going into playoffs, in your opinion?
Ooh, what if we have different answers?
Yeah. What's your answer?
Go on 3?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
EG.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think probably EG is just the strongest team. I think they've also had a pretty rough split at the beginning, and they kind of really, as the split went on, they discovered, found their style, found their confidence, and it just seems like every game they have a really good plan. Whether they're ahead, behind, it always seems like they're playing together. And just the way they prep, the way they play, they just definitely seem like the strongest team behind us, obviously.
They're definitely a team where all pistons are firing. They're really dangerous. And so if they're on top of their game, it's a dangerous game to play against.
Okay, next question comes from John from Inbin Global. G2's Mickey stated he thinks LCK bot lanes have degraded and are worse than LPL and LEC. What is your perspective looking at the international scene?
What do you mean, like perspective, like on LCK bot lane specifically, or just in general, our perspective on the international scene?
Actually, so I'm not sure.
Okay, because it's kind of...
Is Nick here?
And Nick is also not here now.
Oh, okay.
We can just comment on international bot lanes.
I guess just we can start just with LCK bot lanes. I'm not really sure that's true. I think that's also...
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure where that statement came from, because I felt last year at Worlds, LCK had actually really strong bot lanes. I was on FlyQuest last year, and we were against DRX. They had Deft and Carrier, who I think were probably the best laners in maybe the whole tournament. And I just think even right now, like the top teams like Gumayushi, Def, these are still like really strong bot lanes. And I feel like they still play really well and still have really wide champion pools. I mean, Ruler and Life, they're still really good. So I think it's kind of a weird perspective. I think it's strong. I think just overall, just bot lanes around the world, there's just a lot of strong ones. I mean, in LPL, pretty much all the top teams like EDG, EDG and Suning still has a strong bot lane. There's just a lot of strong bot lanes. But I do think compared to past years, I think while the top international teams are still really good, just from watching the games, I feel like the gap isn't as big as it used to be. And I think that especially at this Worlds, there's going to be a lot more competition between the top 4 regions than there has in the past.
Okay, next question comes from Joseph, One Esports. What is the biggest improvement you've made as an individual and as a team this summer?
Well, I think as an individual, one of the challenges that I've took it upon myself to split was to kind of work really closely with our bot lane to help them have a lot more synergy, help them individually as well with their play, how they want to play together. I think last split, there was a lot of different ideas in our bot lane, and we never really came to good conclusions. And I think it really showed, especially at the end of last split, I think we just weren't a very strong bot lane, individually and together. So I was working a lot with them. And just in my career, I haven't really worked a lot with my bot lanes. My bot lanes have usually been independent or I've worked with other coaches who were in charge of bot lane. But on this team, I kind of took it upon myself to help out with the bot lane. And I think they both improved like a lot, not just individually, but also together as a duo. I actually feel they're probably the strongest duo right now in LCS. I think they play really well. They play really consistently, really large champ pool. They know how to contribute to the team. They can carry, they can play weak side. And I think just watching them grow throughout the split has been really nice to see. And I'm glad that like I was able to help and be a part of that. Because I think it's made our team just a lot better as a whole. I feel like now that our bot lane's on the same page, that just as a team, we're able to be on the same page together. In terms of as a team, the things that I think, or the thing that I think we've improved on the most is honestly just the way we see. And it's kind of the same thing where I felt like last split and at the beginning of the split, like we just had so many different ideas. I mean, we had 5 players from 5 different teams and coaches from different teams just coming together, and everyone had a lot of success playing the way they played, but everyone had very different styles. So there was this giant clash of like, we should play this way, we should play that way. This is how I've had success, this is how I've had success. And it just honestly took us a long time. But I think this split, we've really nailed it down. Like, this is what success looks like for us, like as a team, for us 5 players, for us as a coaching staff, this is what success is. And finding our strength, leaning into our strength. And when we did like really commit to our strength and find it, I feel like we're, as we've been showing recently, we're like easily the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, to echo off of Curry's statement, this roster is definitely built with individuals who have a lot of historical success, and they've all been on winning teams, and those teams each had their own identities and ways to play. And so bringing them all into like one big meshing pot was quite a task that our coaching staff really undertook. And I think that as the year has gone on, we've seen the results, and today was definitely a culmination of that. And today, you know, everyone had different visions of how to win the game going into the year, but today we knew what we wanted to do in the day today, and it was simple, and we closed out a win.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That wraps it up for the pre-submitted questions. If you have any, we're gonna open up the floor to live questions. If you have any, please raise your hand and I'll call your name. Did you hear me, Declan?
I did not. Can I go?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can go.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, how much do you guys use statistics and analytics to inform either champion picks, team opposition scouting, or player evaluation and scouting, or if you use them at all?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely use like statistics and analytics.
Sure.
I mean, there's just a bunch of great, like we have our own internal and there's other like just public websites that we're always like looking, checking, making sure that seeing like how our opinions match up. If we think this champ is strong, we'll look at the win rate, see the win rate across all regions, top regions, look at our own internal statistics of how we're actually do against us, how we do it with it. So yeah, I mean, it's just a really natural part of our day-to-day and our weekly prep.
Nick, you can go next.
All right, thanks. Hi, it's Nick Ray with Upcomer. Just real quick, I wanted to ask you about some of the criticisms that have been floating around online about TSM have been more centered around the players laning. I wanted to know what you guys' thoughts about that evaluation of the team's weaknesses were.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, if you're talking about like the criticism online, it's just LS, right? Like he's just the one who's been saying our laning is really bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much to say on that other than that, like, I don't think laning is necessarily like one of our huge strengths, but I also don't think it's as big as a problem as it's made out to be. I think that our players, for the most part, are pretty good laners, pretty decent laners, and they know how to do their jobs. Honestly, I don't have really much to say on that. I think it's that's not really a big weakness of our team. I think it's a pretty. I think that's just like a not accurate representation of our team.
Thank you.
Digon, you can go.
Are you sure? Are you sure that's what you're going to tell LS? I'm kidding. All right. I got this from a Twitter follower, so a fan of yours. They wanted to know, how is the experience coaching with an ex-pro player in comparison to analysts that became coaches?
Oh, no, he cut out.
It's definitely really different. So in the past, pretty much all the coaches, actually all the coaches I've worked with were not pro players before. Honestly, just the biggest difference is just a straight up like understanding of what it takes to be a pro, and just like being able to just have that pro mindset, like understand the player so much better in terms of like what they're feeling in game, like why they're reacting certain ways. Like I feel like working with Soren has like, he really players are under like what they actually have to think through in the game. Like as a coach from the outside who hasn't played before, it's really easy to be like, oh, why can't the players just like be able to do all these things at once? Why can't they focus on like laning and think about macro and the big picture and everything that's going on all the time? And I think Soren just brings a very realistic and a very like, he's just like he's been in the mud with the players. He knows what it's like. And I think he relates to players really well. And it's definitely given me a lot better perspective because I'm able to understand those things too. And I feel like we balance each other really well. Like he has this is the pros in the game, and this is like what it's like from the outside. And I think it's really important to have both perspectives. And obviously just working with Soren himself, like other than like, he was just one of the best players, if not the best player, even at the time he retired. So he just brings a wealth of like experience, knowledge, leadership. Honestly, it just makes my job super easy. I just have to kind of like, he just does so much in leadership. I'm just able to like, just fill in the small holes that we have. And the direction that we have as a team is just really clear, and I'm just able to contribute where I can. So it's honestly a great experience, and I'm honestly loved working like every single second with it.
Great. Thank you.
Pedro, you can ask the last question.
Yes, hello guys. Congrats on the win. This is for Curry. In the latest episode of TSM Legends, Speaker highlighted that playing remote for him was worse than playing live, since he feels more focused in the studio rather than playing in a team house. Do you echo this sentiment from a coach's perspective?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. I think there's such a big difference in terms of like, even just like arriving to the studio, sitting in the back rooms, getting ready. When you go up on the stage, like there's the whole process of getting up, like the refs like wand you down, you put on the headsets, there's white noise. It's just a whole different experience than just being out there, like face and see them across from you. There's not a crowd at the LCS, but just being in that space where just like you're used to having the competition where there's like so much adrenaline. It's just very, very different. When we're playing at our facility, it's just a bit more relaxed. Like it's the same place where we scrim and practice. And even if we know it's a real match, it's still hard to switch the mindset so easily, as opposed to when you're doing all the rituals of like going to the LCS and going through that whole process. So it's definitely really different. And I think definitely for our team, we tend to lose focus. I think especially the first week back was really tough for us being in that new environment, but I think we switched up a lot of like our processes for practice and going to the stage games this week. And I think we were a lot more ready and focused this time, just because we were more prepared as opposed to last week.
Okay, thank you. That wraps up the scrim. We appreciate you answering our questions. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Thank you all.